Shalom, and today we shall study about non-finite verbs, that is the second type known as the gerund. Now what is a non-finite verb? A non-finite verb does not change its form to indicate a change in its tense or a subject. Like I say, I teach English, I like to teach English, or I can say I will like teaching English to you when I am free. So teaching becomes a gerund. So what is the definition of a gerund? Let's check it out. Ing form of the verb used as a noun is known as the gerund. For example, I have written over here, read plus ing is equal to reading. The form of the verb that is used in a sentence has a noun, while still retaining the power of the verb is called as a gerund. For example, I say reading is my favorite hobby. So read plus ing is known as the gerund. In this sentence which I said, reading is my favorite hobby, reading is the form of the verb read, whereas it can be used as the subject of the sentence. Similarly, let us see the uses of the gerund. We see that the gerund is used as the subject of the verb. Now what do you mean by the subject of the verb? Subject means who or what the sentence is about. It is the doer of the sentence. We see, for example, reading makes a man wise. We see that reading is always at the beginning of the sentence. So whenever we use gerund, we always use the subject of the verb in the beginning of the sentence. So reading is the gerund. Let us see the other uses of gerund. We see the gerund is used as the object of the verb. What do you mean by object? Object of the verb is a noun or pronoun which gives meaning to the subject or a verb. It is a part of a predicate. It is a person or thing done to him. We see, for example, I love swimming. You can see the boy swimming. He says, I love swimming. Or I can say, I am teaching. So, swimming is always comes at the end of the sentence. Whenever the gerund is at the end of the sentence, acts as the object of the verb. We know that swimming is the gerund because it has a ing. Let us see the third use of a gerund. Gerund is also used as the object of the preposition. What do you mean by object of the preposition? Object of the prepositions are always followed by prepositions and it completes its meaning. We see, for example, she is fond of singing. We see that singing is followed by preposition of. So singing always follows a preposition. So we know it has the object of the preposition. So this completes its meaning. Let us see the other use of gerund. We see the fourth type as the complement of the verb. What do you mean by complement of the verb? Complement means a word used after the verb to complete the sense of the sentence. We see that we use my favorite hobby is gardening. Gardening is used after the verb to complete the sense of the sentence. Suppose we do not add gardening, it doesn't complete the sense of the sentence. But when we add gardening, it completes the sense of the sentence. So it means gardening is the complement of the verb. It can be a noun, a pronoun, adjective or gerund, infinitive or present participle, as I told you in my earlier videos in the case nouns. So we can also use gerund as the complement of the verb. Let us see where else gerund can be used. Gerund can be used in the verbs of sensation, like non-action verbs, which we can use as a sensory experience. For example, feel, hear, observe, see. We cannot sense these things. For example, I have written here, I heard her coming in. We have used the gerund after the verb of sensation heard. Now let us see which other verbs you can use as gerund. And always remember that in verbs of sensation can be used in infinitive as well as in gerund. Now other verbs which you can use as in avoid, deny, dislike, enjoy, finish, forget, imagine, keep, recollect, stop, suggest, understood. All after these verbs you can use a gerund. For example, I have written, you should avoid smoking. So it is smoking is written after the word here, avoid. You can see the word here, avoid, and we have used this smoking with the ing. So smoking becomes the gerund. Where else can you use a gerund? Yes, you can use a gerund as a part of a compound word. What do you mean by compound word? Compound word, we take two words, joined it together to create a new word, a bigger word or a better word. And we always use a dash in between or a hyphen. For example, I've written here, my grandfather has a beautiful walking stick. So we see here walking is an adjective and stick becomes a noun. So it is used as a compound verb because it is joined together by a hyphen. So even in compound words, we can use gerund. So walking stick becomes a gerund. Where else can we use a gerund? We can use a gerund when we, in certain expressions, we can use a gerund. For example, I have written here, is worth, is no use, is no good, can't bear, can't stand, couldn't help. All these expressions can take a gerund after them. For example, I have written here, the table is worth buying. So we have used is worth and we have a gerund after it, that is buying. It is no use crying over spoilt milk. We have the gerund crying. It is no good imitating others blindly. So we use after expression is no good. We have a gerund called as imitating. He can't bear living away from her. After the expression can't bear, you have a gerund living. I can't stand smoking in my room. After the expression can't stand, you have a gerund smoking. And the last one, we couldn't help laughing at her foolishness. Couldn't help, we have the expression couldn't help, and we have an expression, we have a gerund laughing. So all these expressions you have to remember this, and it takes a gerund after them. And the last one, you have a gerund after possessive words. What do you mean by possessive words? We take possession. For example, I have written, I did not like Ram shouting at his mother. We see here it has an apostrophe s and a noun, but these are possessive words. We can also say him, her. I did not like him shouting at her mother. So all after possessive words we use the gerund. Like here we have shouting. And the last one, we use gerund after certain prepositions. Like for example, they are tired of working day and night. You see a preposition here of. What do you mean by preposition? Preposition shows the relation between the words, and it is and we usually use gerund after the preposition of. So here we have completed the gerund. We have ing form of the verb is used as a noun. It's known as a gerund. We have written example reading, and all the uses subject, object, complement of the word, object of preposition. In certain verbs involve the sensation, compound word, expressions after possessive words, and prepositions. I hope you all understood about gerund, which is the second type of non-finite verbs. And in my next video, you will learn about the participles. Thank you.